Hi, did you know that breast milk also increases the immunity and the gut health of the baby? Did you know when to start weaning foods? And what are the consequences of starting the weaning foods later or earlier than required? Stay till the end of this video to get all these answers. Hi, I'm Nutan. I'm from New Delhi and I'm founder director of Natural Childbirth Center, and I have been helping mothers for over 4 decades now. And one question they often ask is about weaning foods or complementary foods for babies, about when they should be started. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about how to start weaning foods for the baby, when to start them, what to give them in terms of fruits, vegetables, and even very convenient ready mixed powders that you can use at your convenience when you're in a hurry or when you're traveling. So of course, initially in the first 6 months, all babies have only breast milk and no other foods, no water, nothing, no formula, nothing. That's ideal for the baby. Initially, of course, there is no breast milk in the breast. There is only colostrum, which is excellent for the baby because it's very high in fat and protein, so it's very heavy. It helps the baby to pass its first stool, so it reduces jaundice in the baby. It increases the gut health of the baby by increasing the growth of villi in the gut of the baby. And so it's the best thing, although it's very little in quantity, and that's fine because the baby's capacity of the baby's stomach is just half a teaspoon in the first 2 days of its life. In about a week's time, colostrum turns into breast milk, and that is adequate for the baby to have for the first 6 months of its life. After 6 months, the baby's digestive tract is ready to digest other foods, is mature enough to digest other foods. So we must start other foods at 6 months, not before and not later. Early initiation of complementary foods is detrimental because it replaces breast milk, it reduces the production of breast milk. Along with breast milk, the baby gets perfect nutrition, so the baby's nutrition status goes down. Also, breast milk is full of immunities from the mother, and so the baby's risk of infection rises, and the risk of a second pregnancy in the mother also rises. So it is best not to start these foods very early. Neither is it good to start them too late, because after 6 months the baby needs more nutrition than just breast milk. And if we don't start other foods, then the baby can be lacking in nutrition. And if the baby is lacking in nutrition, then the baby can have a detrimental effect on its growth. The growth of the baby can slow or it can stop. The risk of ill health in the baby will increase because the baby will have deficiencies and will have malnutrition. And one thing about when you start weaning foods for the baby to remember is that as far as possible, feed from the family pot, as they say. Feed what the family is eating. Don't look at exotic foods, don't look at bottled foods, just eat fresh, healthy food. So foods that are locally available are best. For instance, if what are the fruits in season? Is it banana? Is it mango? Is it chiku? So you can mash that fruit and give to the baby. You can give the baby steamed and stewed apples or pears. You can also give vegetables to the baby. You can give mashed potatoes to the baby. You can give pureed pumpkin or carrot to the baby. And you can also make like a soup of mixed vegetables for the baby with very little soup. And remember, the baby needs thick, dense, high calorie food. So if you make like a soupy vegetable mix for the baby, then mash the vegetables or puree the vegetables and feed to the baby, and give the soupy part only if the baby is still hungry. And to increase the calorie content, you can add some fat to the soup or to the vegetables, like you can add some butter, and to the fruits you can add some cream. the baby is never going to grow this fast and rapid ever in its life again. So it really needs high calorie dense foods. Remember that. When you are in a hurry, sometimes you may think, it's not always possible to cook all the time and do things all the time. So you can also make a ready food mix for the baby, which you can feed to the baby when you're in a hurry or when you're traveling. You just need to add some water to it. You could add soup, stew, water, milk, any liquid, and feed it to the baby. Dal. I'm going to show you how to make this food mix, and the ingredients for this are puffed rice and chickpea or chana, which is available ready to eat in the market, and peanuts and raw sugar, unrefined sugar. And we are going to make a mix of these ingredients, which I will show you on a video. But I'd also like to tell you that you can make this mix and you can also make a similar mix with different locally available ingredients as well. Once you see how it's made, you'll get an idea how to make it, and you can make all these kind of very interesting mixes and bottle them and keep them for ready use when required. So what you do is you put a vessel on the fire on medium flame, let it get warm, then put the peanuts in it and roast them lightly so that they don't get brown spots on them or black spots on them. After they are roasted, you'll remove them and then you'll roast the puffed rice, and again on a medium flame and gently, because they're very light, they can just fly out of the vessel. Just roast them very gently, and as you keep roasting them, they'll slowly become a beige color, slightly beige color. Make sure they don't turn black or brown. Keep them lightly roasted, and you have to keep moving them so that they don't get beige or brown. When they are done, if you crush them, they will become powder, and then you know that it's done. Once it's done, you take it off the fire and leave it aside to cool. Then the peanuts, which would have cooled by now, you can squish between your fingers to separate the skin from the nut. As you separate them, put the peanuts on one side of the plate and the nuts. Put the peanut skin on one side and the nuts on one side of the plate. When you squish them between your fingers, the skin will come off very easily with a crunchy kind of sound. And once they are done, we are going to separate the skin from the nut and discard the skin because we don't need it now. What we need is the peanuts to dry grind. So after discarding the skin, we are going to dry grind the peanuts in the mixie. And let us see what it looks like once it's done. So the peanut is being dry ground. And once it's done, we'll remove it and put the powder of the roasted peanuts in the plate. And once we have the powder of the peanuts, next we are going to dry grind the chickpea. This is what the peanut powder will look like. And now we are going to dry grind the chickpea, the chana, the roasted chickpea, which is ready to eat and available in the stores in packets as is. So once it is dry ground, you have the powder of the chickpea, roasted chickpea, which you put in the plate again and this is what it looks like. It's got a yellow tinge to it. It's powdered. And next we are going to dry grind the puffed rice, the roasted puffed rice. I'm going to put it in the mixie and dry grind it. And here's the powder of the puffed rice food mix. So it's very light, therefore we can fill the grinding bowl up to the end, jug up to the end. Now we mix the chickpea powder to the puffed rice powder, and then we mix the peanut powder to it, and mix it all up. And lastly we will add the unrefined sugar. It is called khand in Hindi, khand or unrefined sugar. We mix it with the powder, and once this powder is cool, we bottle it in an airtight container and store it in a cool, dark place to be used when required by mixing with any liquid to feed to the baby.